Hello, my name is Tom Cannon. I'm the Oshkosh Poet Laureate, the first one in Oshkosh, and I hope there's many, many more after me. Welcome to the Oshkosh Poet Show, where I talk about poetry, how to do it, but mostly about why it's so important. And today, I'd like to begin with a poem. 4-lane road, 5:45 a.m. on a 4-lane road. A guy on a bike rides towards me. There's nothing I can do but watch out, move over, less than I should, to let that road rider know he's a loser. Then there he is, a ruddy-faced teenage boy. A boy with a backpack, pedaling to beat hell, leaning into the wind, learning something, maybe that a bus isn't so bad, or that independence isn't so easy, or that racing a bike on a chilly spring morning is exhilarating. It was first published in Leaf Garden Press in 2010. I don't think it's in print. It's in business anymore, but you can still get that journal online. And so that poem is an example of how a poem can remind you of who you are and what your values are. I wrote this poem, as you can imagine, after seeing a kid on his bike. And my initial reaction was anger, a little road rage. But it honestly forced me to address how I was driving like a jerk. And I believe my perspective as a writer helped me to pay attention to these details of this little tiny small event. And I began to identify with that kid. It brought me back to my childhood. And then I figured out, well, maybe that kid doesn't regret doing it. And studying that kid on that bike, it reminds me of riding my own bike as a kid. It reminded me of the time my brothers and I went on this epic bike trip, and we stopped at a closed supper club to ask for water. I have not written a poem about that, but this poem that I did write put me in touch with innocence and that feeling that I had when I was young. I believe this has influence on other poems and writings, that event, this event, and regardless of that, it put me in touch with my youth. Focusing on this event and creating the poem, I identified how the two ways I reacted and how much better I was not to choose anger. I might have forgotten about this event if I had not written it down. Had I then not spent time creating an image and my feelings behind what happened, I would not be able to know myself as well as I do. I'm not an expert, but I have explored this concept of dissonance that comes from your behaviors differing from your values. For many reasons, we do treat people poorly, and then we feel bad because treating people is not who we truly are. We just don't know how to fix this. And we can't fix it because we don't know what our values are yet. So if you write honest, powerful poetry, you will get to know yourself better. Thank you for spending a couple minutes with me, and I hope this helps you to write great poems.